Alright, welcome back to another Play and Explain. In this video, I have the webcam on, so some of it awkward, forgive me, but just trying out. I know some people said they wanted the webcam, so figured I'd do it. I just worry I'm gonna be a little too awkward. Okay, here on this board, this goes up 8 bigs, right? So there's EV and checking and betting. I like the EV of checking, in the sense that this guy can go all in, this guy can have a hand. It's more likely to call when... Holy. So wait, if we hit a king and he hits an ace, we bad beat jackpot this? Bop. Watch this. Wait. King. Are you kidding? Alright, I'm gonna continue with the video. What? I just called that? Wait. So I just made 10k? Holy fuck. I can't wait to tell my girlfriend when she gets back. Jesus Christ. I got that on recording. Oh my god. Well, it'll just be a YouTube short. Oh my god. Obviously, I typed something that these guys don't give a fuck, but yeah. That's my first bad beat jackpot I've ever hit. Obviously, would have preferred to be the loser, but all right. Anyway, I gotta redial. We gotta redial in here. We still got some cards to play, right? We still got a video to record. Holy fuck, eh? Oh, and the sick part is wait, do I not win the pot? How does that work? So here I hit the bad beat, right? But don't I win? Shouldn't I have got 200 big blinds at the table? Like, why do I only have this much? I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. I guess it just goes straight into my bank. So I'm a little tilted. Wait, he gets that much more than me? Like, come on. Like, come on. Imagine. Oh my god. Oh my god. 2,000 big blinds there. It's a good session so far. Nope. Sorry about the headset unplugging. God, my reaction was probably so cringy, eh? How's my mic? It's on. Oh wait, why am I sitting on? My GG has been randomly closing recently. It's been kind of annoying. I don't know why that's happening. Anyway, there's not many tables right now. Let me see if I can get more going. I might cut points to this video just to make it a little more interesting so we actually have stuff to talk about. Alright. What was my GG balance? Oh my god, it was like 15k at the start, or like 17k. I try not to keep too much on my accounts at all times. Just due to the... I don't see the point in it. Rather than put it in my savings account. Damn, that's crazy to look at. So it was like 15k at the start of the session. Now we're at to 25k. Obviously, we have all the tables open as well. Oh, I'm showing HUD stats. Whatever. I'm not posting this video. I'm sorry. If your HUD stats are leaked, I leaked mine. I'm like mine's in the video too. I mean, anyone who plays in this pool pretty much probably knows your HUD anyway. If you want to leak my HUD sets to everyone in the entire world, I don't care. I guess I deserve it. That being said, yeah. Probably shouldn't have done that. Would be nice to play a little deeper though. Come on. Someone's gonna contact someone at GGPoker. Like, where's my 500 extra bucks here? How does the math work? I'm trying to think. Did I get robbed 500 bucks? No, there's no way. They're not. Because, okay, I hit the bad beat, but I also win the pot. Like, hello? I have quad kings, you know? Dude, I was in disbelief. When this king came off, I'm in disbelief. Oh, no, but, like, okay. I win the pot, right? Like, where's my stack? Because he gets 7,000. I'm supposed to get a third of that. Kind of, right? Bro, I might email support deadass. Okay, I'm obviously just in the wrong here, let's be honest. It's like 99% of the time when you're arguing versus a casino, you're in the wrong. I'm just trying to think. Okay, let's dissect this, shall we? Okay, so we got this pot. How does the math work? Okay, we're gonna defend 6-4 suited here. I might cut points this video. I don't know. It's kind of boring, but at the same time, I'm sure people like seeing shit like this. Guys, thanks so much. Love you all. Solid, dude. Running hot emoji. Yeah, exactly. What a beast, man. Alright. I can't believe I called it. I mean, to be fair, I'm always calling it, so it's like... I can't believe I hit it. A sick start. Okay, on this turn, King Queen, we have more than him. I mean, because he's going to be raising it with the flop, he's going to be 3-betting some pre. Ace Jack and Ace 10, we also have more than him, but the thing is, yeah, I mean, it's a card we're going to want to continue, and like Queen 8, Queen 9 can follow through now. I'm trying to think, like, there's no point having a middling betting range, because most of our cards are going to be giving up, though. Like, that's the thing. Like, this is probably, like, close to the bottom of our betting range, maybe Ace Queen as well, probably at a frequency, some, like, Ace 9, Ace 5. Well, Ace 5's not worse than Ace Queen, obviously. I'm trying to think here on the math. Jackpot pool. Okay, yeah, let's see. 2-5. Bad beat. Okay, so right now, yeah, I'm supposed to get 30% of what he got, right? Because he gets 10%, and I get 3. Let's go back to it, shall we? Right here in the check line. I probably don't need to check this on the flop. I just had double bad suit. Okay, so what? Like each percent's $700, so it makes sense. You see? So 10%, right? That means each percent is 700, and I got 2,100, right? Am I trolling? Guys, you guys have been cringing so hard this whole time. I just realized something. Oh my god. Dude, the comment section's probably blowing up. Forgot this guy didn't have a 500 big blind stack. I'm so stupid, man. I'm in a 100 big blind stack. Okay. But at least I was just blanking because I assumed, I kind of forgot that he was like on 8 big blinds. Yeah, I completely forgot. Because in my brain, I was thinking like, wait, why don't I have a stack? But yeah, that makes sense. Trying to finish this video before I get to go watch Baltimore versus Kansas City. Diehard Niners fan, so hopefully the run good can continue into the NFC Championship. With the fish, we can open 10-5's the cutoff, but with 10-4, we'll open it with the recreational on the big. Can't be that bad. That makes money. Here on this board, you want to be aggressive. Ace of Hearts is probably the worst. It's probably still bad with this hand. There's some logic with Ace King to having it. I don't know if you have that with Ace Queen. It is a board you want to bet at a high frequency, but I'm gonna check it this time. Could probably get away with range betting it on the rainbow texture. I'm gonna be honest. Like you have 9s and 10s almost pure, so like even though he has it high frequency, it's not like owning you. Gonna find the check again here. The silver lining with this now is if he has like Queen Jack, Queen 9. I mean, he would never. He's not supposed to be having Queen 9 here. I'm just gonna call. Raising's too weird here. Right. The disadvantage to the Ace of Hearts is you block folds. But the thing is about ace queen is it is kind of stronger in the sense that you don't mind your opponent calling other ace x, and you're actually blocking ace 10 and ace 9 of hearts. So it's actually probably good to bet this one, I imagine. Like, you're going to be calling ace jack of clubs, they're going to be calling ace 5 of clubs, maybe, if you bet, like, if you go for the 1/3 strategy. If you're mixing, this would probably prefer to go 1/3, because of the logic I just said. You can get more of these, like, ace 8 suiteds to call you. I'm just going to toss this. I don't know. If he's the thing about folding spots like this, and when you're calling turn jams, your opponent's allowed to bluff you more. I'm pretty sure I've said this, but let's say even here he's bluffing, right? First of all, it's a fish, and you just donk pot it on this card. I'm pretty sure he's not bluffing. Second of all, even if he is bluffing, he's gonna have equity versus you. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's not a single hand he's gonna, like, he's not bluffing like 4 deuce clubs here, right? So he's gonna have equity versus you, meaning that when you call, like, he might have a hand like with the jack of hearts, right? And then he would have won. So even though he was bluffing, he wins. You know what I'm saying? So it's all equity, right? To call off. So that's the thing. Like, sometimes when your opponent may have an overpair or they may have a bluff, they actually can have way more bluffs than an overpair. Like, let's say you have 10s on a board, you're calling down. Like, on the flop, like, they go all in or something. Like, if they have ace king, they're gonna have 25%, and if they have aces, you're gonna have 10%, right? So, like, it's like they can have more ace king relative to aces than if it was a river spot. I hope that made sense. Especially in spots where your opponents are gonna have like combo draws and like stuff like this. Damn, I cannot believe it, man. I called it. Manifestation, guys. That's the most important skill in poker. Manifesting. That's what my dad says every time I play live poker in Vegas. So my dad lives there. Every time I run bad, just victim blames me. Alright, let's hope we can get into some fucking spots, though. Jesus Christ. On a 10. Let's fuck this guy up, guys. 22. Versus the recreational, I wouldn't 3-bet this. And here, you're going to be checking range, because he's going to have more 5s, 4 5s and 6s, 6-4 offsuit bullshit like this. And also, not to mention, one pair in a limp pot is pretty strong. So he's going to have more pairs than you, which is also what matters, right? 3 deuce off, too. Like, 16 combos of that shit. Granted, like, 16 combos isn't a lot in such a wide spot. You're going to be checking again. You just got to play super defensively here. The key is not to focus too much on your hand after. Like, yeah, it's like, oh, I had ace king. I probably would have won if I just didn't limp. Now you just got to look at it. I have ace king on this board. Is ace king not good on this board? It's pretty close here. Probably call it once, simply due to the fact that we can probably lean on this card because we do have more king x, and he's not really repping better than a pair because he checked back the flop. So, like, it's definitely more profitable bluff this spot. I don't think, like, I think his turn bet, what I'm trying to say here, is not like 10-4, 10-5, 10-6. Like, that's not really the hands he's repping. So when we hit ace, what the hell? Where my GG's gonna close? I'm just gonna bet this. We're a little deeper anyway. Can't be that bad. If we 4-bets me, this is a mix. It's a mix between jam or call. On a 34, it should be call, but however, I do think this guy's a little on the tighter side, so I'm just gonna jam it. In the sense of he's gonna underbluff post flop, and also his 4-betting range is gonna be stronger than it should be in theory, meaning he's gonna call off more, making, like, if this was an indifferent decision, it's gonna more likely be a jam. He just fold this time though. This guy is more tighter than usual though, but you never know. But it's gonna be more likely. Basically, let's say here, if it's some ace king, which calls off sometimes, right? Like ace king suited. If it's never like ace jack suited, ace 10 suited, I don't know what he's snap folding. Maybe ace 5 suited. He has some snap folds. But it basically also, if all the bluffs have an ace in them, like they're not getting in there with like the king jack suited and stuff. If all the bluffs have an ace in them, then it means more likely than not that he's gonna have. When you have 2 aces, you're blocking his bluffs, and he's gonna be more weighted to pocket kings. Which, obviously, you could say I could just call versus pocket kings, pocket queens. But, yeah. It's a mix in theory. And versus that opponent, I just think he's more likely to be underbluffing, especially even after the flop. So, like, for example, if he has ace king here, I think the highest chance I stack him is going to be right now. He snap folded, which is kind of crazy. And I'm going to bluff this river for sure. I probably should bet turn and bet river. What's up? I'm recording. I hit the Bappy jackpot. As the winner. I was the winner.
For what?
What? Oh, look, I'll show you the hand. I can cut it out in the video if you don't want to be in it. But yeah. Where is it? This. I called it too. I called it. I was like, this king high flop. This guy jammed aces. And I was like, okay, all we need to do is hit a king and an ace, and then we hit the Bappy. And it literally went runner, king ace. How sick is that?
Oh my god. That's crazy. So how much money is he got?
10K. Yeah. So stupid. Like, actually so stupid. More than 10K. Yeah. What a run good day. Like, jeez. So stupid. It's yeah. It's my first Bobby jackpot I've hit. I've hit a table share, but you know what? Usually when people have the Bobby jackpot, they hit it like, well, I'm gonna go to 28 here. I think it actually performs better than shoving. I think you want to have bluffs in the spot. Probably could go to just 26, but I like 28. I think he's gonna be more merged in general, so I like the idea of the sizing up a bit. I think the two big lines is gonna make a lot of a difference between these mergier hands like ace 9 suited and ace 10 suited. And I think he's gonna be finding like pure here, so. I guess I described hands I dominate, but I also mean like jack 10 suited, queen jack suited. Stuff like that. This guy's pretty aggressive, but naturally in the spot, I'm just gonna go for the call. Versus the recreational, but you can definitely 4-bet jam depending on your opponent. I probably should be careful. I just like the idea of 3-betting fish in spots like this. A little deeper, I can call a 4-bet from this guy. I will say you probably have to start folding versus 4-bets in spots like this. Can we never win now? I can't think of how we beat. You're like ace 8, or not ace 8. What do you have, 9s? Imagine. Queen 8. Yeah, so that's what I meant. Like, I probably could 4-bet profitably. With 2 fish here, I'm just going to open this. Here, this is mixing between 2. I'm a little bit out of it. But versus recreational, I'm just going to be betting. Versus the short stack, just going to fold the 3s here. Even though in theory, you're supposed to pure call when you open. But you're not supposed to be opening it pure. So, it's kind of the... I'm going to check this one back here. There's the fish. There is probably merit. If we had a queen, I would bet a little more, but just only being able to get paid from the lower flushes, I think it's more of a one-street hand. When this guy calls here, I'm just going to bet myself. I think there's a chance the fish will call queen 10 suited, king 10 suited, or even king 10, queen 10 off. So I like the idea of squeezing. This guy's time traveling. Okay, what's going on here? I don't know what this guy's doing. Spots going on? Maybe it's the 5 tables. All right, here, this is where I wish I could HUD for you guys, because I could probably show you, like, but I think in general, building a pot here and making more money, giving them a chance to check raise when they have in 8 will put more money in the pot in general. The idea of, like, keeping pocket pairs in there isn't that appealing when you have a hand like this, because all I'm doing is giving myself room to get cooler by them. And here, I mean, you're just gonna keep betting. I like this size. I don't think you need to go too polar yet. You still don't want them to fold out any pairs or any 6x. Hopefully. And also, when you don't overbet, you make his 8x feel a little more comfortable if he is on the nittier end. This is a crazy flop. Here I don't mind like going to like 1.1 bigs, playing 20% mainly. I want to see bet a lot, but the range advantage is like pretty neutral. You just have like that like really like he's gonna have more trash hands than you are, I think, on that board. So like if you're betting, you'd rather like target them with a little bit of a smaller sizing, risking less when you have air yourself. This I'm just gonna polarize. I'm not polarize. I'm just gonna attack very aggressively. He's definitely gonna continue some ace X versus this size, so it's not like that bad. I think we just go thin here. We're gonna have so many bluffs here. You can take any hand with an ace. I mean, a 9 or a 10. The issue is it's like what's calling us. That is a good point, though. He actually is gonna have a lot of overpairs as played in this line. Like, if you have kings on this board, you could check it back. So I'd rather give him a chance to bluff, actually, now that I think about it. Because we're basically hoping he calls us with ace high or 6x, and we block ace high. I'm gonna call here, even though I think, like, actually, like, there's a good chance he has just, like, kings plus. But king jack. Okay, so we made more. I had to think about that one. I was thinking in my line I'm gonna have a lot of bluffs, but then I was thinking with my exact hand. I think we'd rather polarize to a 7 here mainly when we bet. Like, he's gonna have some worse king x that checks back, or 8x that checks back. But in general, we're blocking. When you have the ace here, like, you kind of want him to, when you overbet, to hero call some ace high, right? Alright, welcome to the first and only review. As you can see, I'm wearing a different outfit now. This is like the next day, or it's actually 2 days later since I recorded the video. Keeping a webcam for the entirety of the video. After rewatching, I noticed that the mic was a bit delayed. Also, sorry for the video being a bit too boring after rewatching it. I cut some stuff in this video because I thought I needed to make it more interesting. So some hands don't complete, but I promise you there's nothing too interesting. There's one hand right time banks with Jack 10. If you guys have any comments or would like to see the webcam, let me know. I am gonna fix the delay if I continue to use it, because the mic is not synced very well. I don't know if the problem is my mic or my headset, but yeah. Anyway, starting off with the first hand, you can see here you play like a pretty big leading range here, and I'm gonna keep this in here because I like to think I do lead in game in this hand. I did kind of snap check, but I expect my opponent to kind of know I do play leads on this board. Here your opponent mainly actually betting these types of hands with the hearts just to have the queens and the jack X in. But the backdoor flush shot doesn't want to bet because it can't call a check raise, which I'm going to be doing at a high frequency on this board. And when he checks back, this was originally preferred half pot or 175 because you're playing a split. But if you're not playing a split, then you could obviously probably simplify to even like pot or check. But I do recommend playing a split here because I do think 7x and trips want to really exploit the weak check back range. And not to mention, opponent is going to have these overpairs in his check back range, which I'll see here, even with the B75 here. So when you play the overbet strategy, basically the goal of that is to start making these types of hands a little more indifferent as opposed to these types of hands indifferent. So that's kind of the idea with this, with your betting strategy and the size of your hand. Sorry about the webcam covering things. I wonder if I can. It's not the end of the world. And then here on the river, it likes mixing between the two sizings. Oh, I forgot to mention here, the reason you like betting less when you have the ace of hearts is just mainly due to your opponent going to be checking back more of his ace of hearts on the flop here, meaning that betting, you're folding up more hands you dominate when you have the ace of hearts, such as these types of hands and even these types of hands here. Ace king's going to call more with the ace of hearts, so like you would think, but still going to have a higher frequency, I think, of the ace of hearts. Anyway, so then when we get to the river here, we're mixing between the two sizings here. It likes betting a lot, pretty aggressively for half pot. But when we check, opponent is supposed to be pure checking back these types of this hand that he has here. And if they're going to be bluffing these types of hands pure, then you're going to be printing. I'm sure if we can node lock it. I'm not in the mood to node lock it because my computer's lagging. But yeah, this might be the only hand I review in this video with the webcam, just because I'm going to have to sync the audio and it's a pain. Yeah, I do look forward to doing things like this in the future. It's just pretty disappointing after watching the recording, to be honest. I think, yeah. Happy about the BBJ though, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. Opening dude, this is a mix here, but versus player. And, on a 56, I think it opens. It's like close though. Yeah. It opens 100% of the time though. If you're gonna flop a deuce, I'm pretty confident in that. So I kind of had a feeling. Trying to think what the best size here is, because I'm gonna treat this guy like he's a recreational. I still think smaller is going to perform pretty good. I don't mind the idea of sizing up, actually. Just kind of sucks because you want to keep these hands in, but I think sizing up probably plays pretty well. Spot in the sense of like what I said earlier, getting value from like 6s, 5s, 7. Like it's not that relevant here. When I have a set, like I'm kind of gonna get stacked when they hit that shit. So I'd rather just size up. I mean, I still think they call those a good amount. And now there's a lot of draws on the board. I still don't really want him to fold. I don't want him to fold the queen, so I'm gonna size to this. I don't like the idea of overbetting. I'd rather him keep his like queen x in here because if he gets tripped, it's really good for me. Still betting, a lot of draws on the board. And 10-9 of hearts get there. Ace-10 if he floats flop and calls turn. General going to be a good spot for me. I think he's going to have a lot of 2-pair, so I don't mind the idea of jamming. The issue is, does he call his 2-pair if I jam? Is this too thin? Does he really call 10-9 of hearts versus B75 on the flop? Does he call ace-10 off? I don't think I buy it, so I think I'm going to go for the value. Okay. It's important to think there. It's obviously scary versus a fish, because you never know, but at the same time there, like he could be donk leading king, queen, king, jack. Mainly queen, jack. And I just think in general, like he's gonna have one combo, 10-9 of hearts I think he could have. That's about it though. So here, you just want to bet a size that the fish don't fold their 10x, or yeah, their 10x, obviously, because the main EV you're going to make in this hand is when a 9 comes off, or when an ace, so keeping an ace 8 is important and stuff. Here on this card, when he just calls, he's kind of calving himself to not having too much 10-9. With the king of spades, we're going to go for it. I'd say a spot like this is a main spot where people will not be aggressive enough. If I were to be on like about exploiting, people here really versus the small size are not going to be flatting a lot of 10-9. Maybe they have it, but probably less than a computer would. So it's a spot where you should probably be more aggressive. It's also a spot where people tend to underbluff, especially river. People do not like calling down there. Like people really don't want to call with Jack 10, Queen 10 that often. And the people who do call, they call too much, but it's pretty obvious. The players that do. In my opinion, like that's a spot where you can be very, very aggressive. Like I would have probably shoved this river, to be honest. Not having a heart matters more than a spade, because like he's not gonna have too much spade X folds compared to like how many heart X folds he's gonna have, right? I'm versus this fish. This isn't a 3-bet, but I'm gonna actually with the fish in the big blind too. I actually don't mind the flat. The main disadvantage of flattening these lower cards, I think, versus regs is they're gonna know you have a lower hand, so they're gonna not really pay you off. But fish will still just pay you off. They're not really thinking like that. So, I mean, they're obviously thinking about it a little bit. I just don't believe this guy. You see, like here, a lot of people focus on blocker properties and stuff like this, but versus a recreational, when he checks back the flop and then he bets 2 cents on the turn, I just know he's not that strong. And so I just raise really big. Here I probably would have bet river. I don't expect him to be checking too much 10x back. And here you're gonna fold. Damn, I hope we can get in some more interesting spots. This is gonna be a pure fold. I've been recording on my screen for 40 minutes now, but I'm sure for you guys it's less at this point. First, on the 90, we should call this sometimes deeper versus 2x. Believe. You prefer hands like this to like ace 8 off and stuff. just due to the fact that you're super deep and not being dominated as often. I don't know if from those positions exactly, but I know from like UTG and stuff, you still might call these offsuit types of hands because they just play better. You get to hit more of your boards compared to ace eight. When the SBR is like also deeper too. This hand is never actually an open, but this guy's nittier. It's actually just a limp or fold. But I'd say most of the time your population, like people are going to be under 3-betting. This is, I think, also not an open, but we're 150 deep versus this guy, so I'm going to open call, and I'm going to fold versus this guy, but this guy's on the nittier end. This guy, most people under 3-bet from the big line anyway, especially deeper stacked. I think they're going to make some mistakes. This is going to be a range bet for me, even at this SPR. You want to decide up here. I don't know if it's the best strategy, but I think it's probably plays okay deeper. But I will be 130ing this one. Here, gonna do the same thing. Protecting our equity mainly, and sometimes we get better to fold and worse to call. Here you want to be careful. He's gonna have a lot of king X of hearts, and we have basically we're gonna check this one. That's what I'm saying. We this deep, like we don't want to polarize ourselves against just better hearts. I don't mind the idea of raising this hand. We block pocket fours with the heart. We want to have some raises. Probably could bet here again. Here, gonna go with the 1/3. I'm a bit out of it. I'm focusing on this. Could raise. I'm gonna go with the fold this time. I think you'd rather have like 10-4 of hearts, queen-4 of hearts, which you could have both. Actually, 10-4 is gonna be really aggressive though. It's gonna be hard to have both. But I do think I'm pretty capped when I check, in the sense that I'd rather play a really big sizing, which involves like some like check back. I think we can just bet this one big and call off with all the equity we have. Because you want to be able to bet this. This is a board where you're going to be pretty careful, but you still want to be able to bet this spot pretty aggressively. I think this has to just be a pure give up. I mean, we don't really block anything at this point. This is a give up, even though you might have a higher pocket attempt. We could do either here. I'd say in general we're probably supposed to bet this through. Double flush draw board. We don't have the ace of spades, meaning he's gonna have a lot of these ace x of spades combos. I don't like the idea of checking. We just unblock all the flush draws here. And yeah, like obviously sometimes he has ace queen, but in general our hand's pretty fucking good. And it's a good board for us, so you need to be betting enough. Like we're also gonna be trapping some ace queen, ace king, so you can't just pure check ace jack. So I think we rolled pretty high. So I go for the B75 there. Alright, on to the last part of the video. I'm going to be ending this after this hand because there's not much more interesting stuff happens after the end of this hand. So yeah, basically you can range bet this board. Kind of know that. I think you can start sizing up if the board is rainbow. Here versus your opponent's range bet on this type of board that you're going to actually be hitting a decent amount here. You're going to be having like 6s, 9s, and jacks. Not to mention like you're going to have a lot of high equity hands in this board, and your opponent is going to actually have a lot of ace queen, ace king types of hands that miss. Not to mention it's range betting into you, so you're going to be wanting to raise this very aggressively. As you can see, you're raising basically 20% of the time here. So I recommend overly raising this board. I think it plays well versus population. People don't defend enough. And then here I would say on the turn here, my hand wasn't a bluff. Or not a bluff, but it wasn't a bet. I mean, the EV is pretty close. You can see it does that a little bit, so it's not the end of the world. But it prefers not using these types of flush draws to call off. At almost not many in general. I'm kind of knitting it up with the flush draws here. It seems like you're supposed to be polar in general. I guess you're going to be getting jammed on a lot here, so you just don't like the idea of picking what's it called? In spots where you're going to be getting jammed on a lot, you usually don't like to pick your draws. You'd rather pick hands with low amounts of equity because yeah, you don't mind folding them versus a jam. And I think this is just one of those spots. I figured you would want some flush draws in your betting range, but it looks like it prefers just to go with the 10-8 and some of these lower ones. I'm going to reveal what it's doing versus a jam, but what we can do is look at the river here. And you can see here my hand is also not a bluff, blocking too many of the folding range. It's got a full height here because you have it a little bit at the time. What's it called? The main preferred bluffs here are the king queen offsuit, like the queen queen without the club, the ace queen, and it likes king queen off here. I guess just not having, checking sometimes with the queen of clubs, but it just likes the idea, I guess, of just not blocking too many of the folds here. And you need to pick, and I'm blocking some of the stronger jack X. If you go to all in here, sorry about the load, but obviously a lot of these hands are going to be mixing here, so having a king is going to be pretty good. In general, obviously a 9 is basically pure calling. Here now I just want to look at the turn jam strategy so we can see exactly what's going on here. So you see when you bet ace-4, you're expecting to pure call off. Obviously, queen 10 doesn't mind the EV of calling off here, but you can see the EV is dramatically less profitable when you get shoved on versus checking. So like, this hand generally prefers to check back. It's also, I think a lot of times when you have these flush draws that aren't planning on bluffing river, you don't need to have too many of them. But yeah, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry about the audio desync. Sorry about the lack of thinking. I just recorded this video, and honestly probably wouldn't have posted if it wasn't for the bad B jackpot. I don't think I was like playing too well and thinking too well inside the video, but I appreciate anyone who stayed to the end, and yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'm out.